So this is going to be the part two of the video that I made where it talked about healing from codependency and also dynamics of enmeshment. Um, the most fascinating thing about the entire dynamic in terms of interpersonal stuff and relationship stuff is that, and it's also super fascinating too because my relationships have transformed like fucking crazy. Like, I have cut people out, I've let people go, I have formed new relationships, and the most fascinating thing in terms of relationships, while healing from codependency and enmeshment, is the difference between codependent and enmeshed relationships and, you know, healthy relationships. Um, I have kind of in the past locked myself in prisons of like relationships where I've based my life around what it is that other people want for me rather than what it is that I want for myself. Right? And that's that codependent element, right? Because it's like, well, how you see me is how I see me, how you feel about me is how I feel about me. I'm going to do this, that, and the other so that you'll approve of me and you'll give me the validation and, all that stuff. Um, and I'm really starting to notice relationship dynamics, specifically the healthier ones, that really transform an individual's life and really allow a person to be themselves, right? Like, for instance, again, no names. I noticed the difference between two relationships that I have, right? Um, One person is excited for me and my life and is very encouraging, right? And this person is very supportive, right? They're also very successful, and they're also, I mean, don't get me wrong, nobody's perfect. I'm not looking at perfection here. What I am looking at is dynamic of relationship and how a person is, right? And I've talked about my future living plans and location plans and everything, and how things might change drastically and everything. And the person was very supportive, um, and understanding. And another person that has also communicated with me, that has communicated how that person feels, this, that, and the other. Um, it's it's different. I can feel a bit of resistance. I can feel a bit of no, don't go, and I understand it. Neither are good or bad, or right or wrong. Um, and I would argue that both are actually much more on the healthy side. But what I am noticing is that one of them kind of displays a bit of, I don't want to say don't do better for yourself, but at the same time, it's kind of like, no, don't leave me behind, please. You know, and it's just fascinating because I know what it feels like to be on that end of the spectrum, and I know what it feels like to not want, people to leave because, I don't know, maybe you have like abandonment issues or whatever it is, abandonment anxiety. Um, But at this point in my life, the most important thing that I can do for myself and the most important thing that I am doing for myself is choosing myself and not being like, oh, I'll stay there because of this person or I'll stay there because of that person. Um, I spent so many years of my life worrying about what other people would think about me if I did what I actually wanted to. And now I'm realizing that the people that actually care about me and love me and support me and encourage me and nourish my growth, they understand that that's just the way that life works, and that people come and go, not in the sense that like they come into your life and then they leave you, but like people are growing, people are evolving, people are changing, and that's just the way that it is, right? And the more you try to hold on to somebody, the more you try to hold on to a thing, right? Like this is the whole dynamic of codependency and enmeshment that I'm talking about, right? Um, and there are also dynamics of like, well, you can't do better for yourself if I'm not doing better for myself. That's the enmeshment. That's the codependency. Um, you have to be suffering at a level that I am in order for like it's the kind of thing where it's like if I'm not okay, you can't be okay either. If I'm not happy, why the fuck should you be happy? You know, um, and just like growing beyond that and healing from that, and also like me allowing myself to be good, even if it seems like I mean, this goes back to the same thing as the last video. Even if it seems like other people are not okay, you know, that's just the reality of it. And so I'm really learning to just like see relationship dynamics and continue to heal the enmeshment and the codependency, and you know um, be happy for people. I've been so unhappy with myself in the past that I found it very hard to be happy for other people. But my own unhappiness, I have also projected onto other people, and that I now realize was a painful experience and probably cost some, trust and some other stuff in the relationship. Um, but what I'm really focusing on now is uh, just choosing me, doing the best that I can for myself, and allowing myself to do what I actually want to, rather than, you know, doing things that other people want me to, and, waiting around and, oh, what do you think about me doing this or that? No, just taking all of the power back onto myself and actually doing what it is that I want to for myself, and not being enmeshed and being like, well, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? What? No. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? No. My job is not to emotionally caretake other people. And it's not just in, trying to change their mood, right? If they're not feeling good. It's also in, I think that emotional caretaking is not just in trying to caretake somebody's mood, but I think it's also in the choices that we don't make for ourselves because we fear that somebody else might not like it. And it fucks up our life because it ends up not allowing us to do the best that we can for ourselves. And I see that as an issue. I see that as unhealthy. I see that as um, self betrayal, self limitation, um, not shining as bright as you possibly fucking can, even though you can, because, it might make this other person that you care about feel insecure. No, that's their shit. You don't need to caretake that. You don't need to try to figure out a way around that. All that you need to do is do what it is that you actually want to do, period. And so, really learning to step away from those dynamics and actually ask Chris, me, what I want for myself. And not settling, not being like, well, if I do this, then this person will feel this way or that way. No, no. Boundaries, personal choice, period.